Hello and welcome to a Let's Play of Dungeon Keeper. Mm, Dungeon Keeper is, I guess it's sort of a real-time strategy game, but it has, it has a strong flavor in a management game. In this game, you play as a dungeon keeper. What it really means is that it's a typical fantasy setting, but you're playing with the evil guys. You're the one in charge, so you play as the leader or a ruler of the evil dungeon monsters, and your purpose is usually in a mission to achieve something, defeat the local ruler of the land and his heroes, something like that. The real difference is that from a typical real-time strategy game is that instead of building units and just commanding them, not like normal, it is heavily focused on the management part. So you have to attract monsters, you have to provide housing for them, you have to feed them, you have to pay them wages, you'll have to keep them more or less happy, which means providing all those basic needs, then making sure you have what they desire. You want to avoid making them angry. There can be little things that happen, like if you have a researcher, you have to keep them happy. You sort of have to have something, have a research facility for them. In fact, you're very unlikely to even attract one if you don't have that. Some creatures you can attract hate each other. For example, there are flies and spiders, so naturally the spiders tend to eat the flies, so your own creatures can fight you with each other, that sort of thing. So there's a heavy focus in the management aspect of the game, but it's easier to explain if we just get started with the game. So this is a Keeper FX version of the game. It's basic. It has no real impact on the actual game. What it means is it's easier for me to run, and the performance is more constant than if I run it through the original system. That is all.
Eversmile. Set in the realm of joy, the people of Eversmile are plagued only by aching facial muscles, and not anthrax as we had hoped. Eversmile is a disgusting land of good humor and polite frivolity.
Yeah, that's our mission briefing. First land to attack. Eversmile. There is the game doesn't take itself too seriously. There's certainly a heavy amount of humor in it. Not a lot of jokes or things like that, but little funny things that your creatures do, how they react, things like that that happen all the time. So let's go Eversmile. Control interface. There's another view mode that sort of has shows things as 3D instead of this more 2D looking thing. The reason I'm using this or prefer this is because dimensions are much more easily recognizable here. This room, for example, 3 by 3 tiles. If I use the other mode, well, it's easier to show. Dimensions are much harder to spot. It sort of looks like 3 by 2 here. So I don't like this. There's nothing wrong with it. It's easier for me to spot actual shapes and things like that if I use this mode. So that's what we're using. These are our imps. We can pick them up, throw them wherever we need them. Also smack them to have them work harder. It does damage them. Some of them might get angry. The beating constantly being heard comes from the dungeon heart. That's basically my life. So if that gets destroyed at any point, we lose the mission. If I want these imps or my basic workers to do something, I can, for example, paint these grounds and they'll try to excavate that. If I build something I can only build on areas I have possessed. What's the difference? If I have them excavate this, it should be fairly obvious what I mean.
You must build a treasure room to store gold.
There's a earth ground. Because the area isn't controlled by anyone.
You have tunneled into a new area.
Once they've finished excavating, they'll start to claim this area. Also, the walls are not reinforced when the area is unclaimed. Now they go around claiming it. And they'll start to reinforce the walls. They're harder to break through once they're reinforced. So, first thing we need to do is build a treasure room. I'll build it here because that's where our gold is anyway. Okay. Now we need a lair. Maybe for the creatures to rest in. I'm going to do it here. It's close to this. That's where the creatures we attract will pop up. I want the lair to be fairly close. I'll also want there to be a hatchery fairly close, so
An entrance has been claimed.
there is also a difference in the shapes of the rooms you make. Because sometimes there needs to be certain size to reach a certain result. Also, if you just build a singular line as a room, it can even not perform any real function. So you need some kind of depth. So instead of having a 1x3 area, you want 2x3. So it has a little bit of room to produce whatever it's producing. So basically here we'll be producing food. Hatchery. Now two creatures. We have a fly and a beetle. The fly is more of a scout thing. Beetle combat unit. Shitty one, but still more flies like that. Because you can manage these by simply picking up the extra ones you don't really want and throwing them back into the portal. Reason why you might want to do this is because there is a unit limit, usually it's per mission. So if you have a lot of flies, which are not good combat units and are scouts, when their combat starts, you're basically unsuited for it. And we have our little chickens. Okay, I think we need to increase the size of our hatchery. It's So, a beetle has cuddled into your realm. It's tough enough to absorb a lot of damage. Like most creatures, beetles require food. Pick out a new area, select the hatchery icon, and create your hatchery. Tasty snacks will soon emerge from its enchanted soil. I'm increasing the size a little bit. I'm hoping something new will happen. Imps fortify your walls to prevent intruders tunneling in. If you want to create more imps, go to Research panel, select imp icon and left click anywhere in your dungeon. Each imp you create costs more than the previous one. We have three imps. I'm creating 3 more. You have to keep in mind that you have to pay wages, so from time to time, I don't. Where's the wage timer anyway? I think it's that. Yeah. Every time this fills up, ooh, intruders approach. In the minimap, you can see them as sort of white. They're tunneling, and we can hear the banging sound. So, yeah.
You have tunneled into a new area. Your creatures are under attack. Your creatures are attacking the enemy.
Yeah, a big fighting going on. Looks like a couple of dwarves.
Your minions are winning a battle. It is payday. Your minions are winning a battle. Your creatures are under attack.
Yeah. Feet.
Your creatures are attacking the enemy.
We should have a little problem with these.
Your minions are winning a battle.
There's also a possession spell in this game. You can possess any creature basically, so there are fly. It's a
Beware, the Lord of the Land
oh
approaches.
shit.
We shall cast you back into the shadows, Keeper.
Your creatures are under attack.
Yeah.
Your creatures are attacking the enemy.
Lord of the Land. Very capable fighter.
Your minions are winning a battle. You have conquered this realm.
Yeah. Not too tough. Your work here is done. Now there is no one to prevent you from obliterating this nauseating realm and expanding your empire into the neighboring lands. Land is yours. Press space to proceed to the next realm. So, you can end this at any moment at this point. There is a lot of this. This shows the entirety of the map. Usually you don't want to end this the moment you can, because there can be secrets to be found here, and you don't really know what's here until you excavate the area. I've tested this first mission already, so I'm pretty sure there's nothing of real value here, so we're just going to move on to new things. And you get the statistics for the mission. How many creatures you attracted, efficiency, time, style, points, rating. and these just scroll the stats, basically telling you what gives you points, I guess. Slaps, cave-in skeletons, bridges built, rocks dug out, salary cost, flies eaten by spiders, territory destroyed, rooms constructed, traps used, keepers destroyed, areas claimed, backstab, chickens hatched, chickens eaten, hopes dashed, promises broken, ghosts raised, doors used, your creatures killed by you, things researched, blah 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 blah. A huge list of things that you could have done. Anyway, we're done. I think it goes to the mission selection after this. Yes.
Cozyton, a hideous sham of a town in which the prosperous citizens have no gripes or moans. Sadly, even the children are happy and secure. This is because they aren't punished for non-existent crimes.